find here that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
Victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I read here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself down the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb, the feats of the lion, yet that he better that expectation, and you must expect me to tell you how.
I pray you, is Signor Monthunter returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There is none such in the army of your sword.
What is he you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, pleasant as he ever was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight. My uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the bird bolt. But I pray you, how many have he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many have he killed? For indeed, I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victual, and he hath hoped to eat it. Is a very valiant trenchman, hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier too, lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. As for the stuffing, well, we're all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There's a sort of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. Why, in our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off. And now is the whole man governed with 1. So that if he hath wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his horse. For it is all the wealth he hath left, to be known a reasonable creature.
Is it possible? I see, lady, the gentleman is not in the books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh dear, you will hang upon him like a disease. He is soon caught in the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. Oh, help the noble Claudio. If he had got the Benedict, it will cost him £1,000 ere he could.
I will hold friend with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
Don Pedro is approached.
Oh,
Good Signor Leonato, you come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost. You encounter it.
never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort remains. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides, and happiness takes its leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter?
Her mother hath often told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked after her? If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What? My dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die when she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert Disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat, for surely I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank you,
still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall escape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratch could not make it worse, and toward such a face as yours.
Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
A bird of my time is better than a beast of yours.
I would that my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so did its continuer.
Oh,
But keep your way, I am done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you always...
that is the sum of all, Leonato. Signor Claudio, Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonato hath invited you all, and I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month. He heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to your brother, the prince, I owe you all duty.
Thank you. I'm not of many words, but I thank you.
Please, your grace, lead on.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me, as an honest man should do, for my simple true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why, the faith, only this commendation I can afford her. That were she other than she is, she were unhandsome. But need no other but as she is. I do not like her.
How thinkest thou in sport? I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and the taste you put it into. Bespeak you this with a sad brow, or do you play the fountain jack to tell us that Cupid is a good hair finder, and Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eyes, she is the sweetest lady ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and were she not possessed with a fury, exceeds her much as beauty as the first of maids off the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn otherwise if Hero would be my wife.
Is it come to this? In faith, hath not the world but one man will bear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 then? Go to, if faith, and thou leadst thrust thy neck into her yoke. Where are the princewood and sigh away Sundays? Look, Don Victor has returned to seek you.
What secret withheld you here that you follow not to Leonato's?
I would your grace constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio, on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark you how short his answer is with Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
If it were so, so were uttered.
Like the old tale, my lord, it is not so, nor 'twas not so, but indeed it should be so.
My passion changed not otherwise. Will be.
Amen if you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
Speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
In faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my two faiths and trusts, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
But I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his heart but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a reechy, wind it in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me. Because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the finest for which I may know the finer, I shall die a bachelor.
I shall see thee ere I die. Look pale with love.
With anger, with hunger, or with sickness, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with the ballad maker's pen, and hang me up at the door for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if thou ever dost fall from this faith, thou'lt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat, and shoot at me. And he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage wolf doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, Pluck out the bull's horns and set them in my forehead, and let me be vilely painted and in such great letters as the right, here is the horse you hire. Let them signify under my sign. Here you may see Benedict, the merry man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horrid mad.
Nay, if Cupid had not spent all of his quiver in Venice, thou wouldst quake for this short night.
I look for an earthquake too then.
Well, you temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair to Leonatus. Commend me to him, and tell him I shall not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparations.
I have almost matter enough in you for such an embassage, and so I leave you.
My liege, your highness, now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonato any son, my lord?
No child but Hero. She's his only daughter. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I did look upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked, but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I'm returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant, and in their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is.
If thou dost love Hero, cherish it, and I'll bring with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no love's grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might just unseen, I would have solved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look what will serve. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I shall fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have a reveling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I am Claudio. And in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her father will I break, and the conclusion is she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
Brother, I have strange news. You yet dread not of.
Are they good?
I see advanced Samson, but they have a good cover. They show well outward. The Prince and Count Claudio walking in a thick bleached alley in mine orchard were thus much overheard by a man of mine. The Prince discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night of the dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
Had the fellow any wit that told you this?
A good sharp fellow. I will send for him and question of your son.
No. We will hold it as a dream until it appear itself. But I will make my daughter aware withal that she may be better prepared for an answer if peradventure this be true. Go you and tell her of it.
What the good year, my lord? Why be thus out of measure sad?
I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause and smile at no man's jests. Eat when I have stomach, sleep when I am drowsy, and laugh when I am merry.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this, for you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother. He has taken you newly into his grace, where it is impossible that you may take true root, or by the fair weather that you may do so. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. It better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion some carriage to rob love from any. In this, though, it cannot be said that I am a flattering, honest man. It must not be denied that I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a cog. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. If I had my mouth, I would bite. In the meantime, seek not to alter me.
You make no use of your discontent.
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here? Horatio, what news?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Oh, will it serve for any model to build mischief upon? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Marriage is your brother's right hand.
The most exquisite, Claudio?
Even he.
And which way looks he?
Marry on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer comes via the prince and Claudio. Inside conference. I would be behind the heiress, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and, having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. The young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the supper. Their joy is the greater that I am subdued. Would the cook were of my mind? Shall we go try what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Was Don John not here at supper?
I saw him not.
Oh, how tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I'm heartburned an hour after.
He does have a melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man who remained just in the midway betwixt him and Signor Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing. The other is too much like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
So half Signor Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedict's face.
With a good leg and a foot, uncle. And money enough in his purse. Such a man might win any woman in the world, if he could get her goodwill.
By my faith, niece, thou wilt never get thyself a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she is too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lesson God sending that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow, short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns?
Just if he send me no husband. For the which blessing I am upon my knees, morning and evening. Oh, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
Thou might light on a husband with no beard.
Well, what shall I do with him then? Dress him in my apparel and make him my way to a gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than youth, I am not for him. And he that is less than a man is not for me. Therefore, I will even take sixpence in earnest of the bear ward, and lead his apes into hell.
Well then, go you into hell?
No, just the gate, and there shall the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head, and say, get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. Here's no place for you maids. So away I, St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and then if we marry as the day is long.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, faith, it is my cousin's duty to make courtesy and say, Father, as it please you. But yet, for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another courtesy and say, Father, as it please me.
Niece, I hope to one day see you fitted with a husband.
Not
prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer. Oh, brother, the revelers are approaching. Make good room.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
As long as you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing, I'm yours for the walk, especially when I walk away.
With me in your company?
I may say so when I please,
And when it please you to say so.
when I like your favor.
My advisor is Philemon Drew. Within the house is Joe.
Why then, your advisor should be fetched.
Speak low, if you speak loud.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
No, will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful? That I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales? This was Signor Benedict that told me you so.
I presume, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. His only gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but the libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy, for he both pleases men and angers them. Then they laugh at him and beat him. I'm sure he is in the fleet. Would he has boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I shall tell him what you said.
Do! He will break a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure, not marked or not laughed at. We must follow the leaders.
That is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedict?
You know me well, I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you dissuade him from this. She is no equal for his birth, and you may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affections.
So did I too. And he swore he would marry her tonight.
Let us to the supper.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedict. But hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is costing all other things save the officer and affairs of love. Therefore, let all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch, against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Come, Claudio.
Yea, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow about your own business town. Whereabout will you lay the garment? About your neck, like a usurer's chain, or under your arm, like a lieutenant's scarf. You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your secret.
Wish him joy of her.
Ha! That's spoken like an honest drover, so they sell ball eggs. But did you think the prince would have served you thus?
Pray you, leave me.
Ho! Now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
Will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt fowl, now will you creep into sedges. My lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. The princess jester? Ha! It may be that I don't want that title because I am married. Yea, though I am not to do myself wrong, I am not so reputed. It is the base, though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person and so puts me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
Troth, my lord, I have played the part of the Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a warden in a lodge. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had gotten the will of this fair maiden, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him up a garland as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it to his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make trust a transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the darling too. For the darling he might have borne himself, and the rod he would have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If they're singing, that's what you're saying. By my faith, you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak with one green leaf would have answered her. My very advisor began to assume life installed with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the princess jester, that I was duller than a great thought, and jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance that I stood like a man at mark, with the whole army shooting at me. She speaks poniards, and her every word stabs. If her breathing were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules have turned spit, yea, and have cleft his cup to make the fire too. Come, talk not of her. You shall find her the infernal aid in good apparel. I would that some scholar would conjure her, for surely a man may live as quiet in hell as in sanctuary, and people sin upon purpose because they would go thither. So indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Look, here she comes.
Will your grace now command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker, now, from the furthest inch of Asia. Bring you a hair off the great champ's beard. Fetch you the length of Prester John's foot. Do you any embassage to the pygmies rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy? You have no employment for me?
None but to desire your good company.
Please, sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord, he lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for a single one. Marry once before he won it off me with false dice. Therefore, your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me lest I prove the mother of fools. I've brought Count Claudio whom you sent me to seek.
Now, wherefore, Count? Are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then? Sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sad nor sick, nor merry nor well, but civil Count. Civil as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
In faith, lady, I think you're blazoned to be true, though if it be his conceit be false. Claudio, I have wooed Hero in thy name, and she is won. I have broke with her father, and his goodwill obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and the grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, it is your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald to joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss and let not him speak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank it. Poor fool, keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his evening that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good for alliance. And so goes everyone to the world but I. And I am sunburned. I may sit in a corner and cry hey-ho for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I had rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ever a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands, if a maid come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
Oh, no, my lord! Listen, I have enough working days. Your
silence most offends me, and to the very best becomes you. For out of question you were born in the merry hour.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry you mercy, uncle, by your grace's pardon.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There is little of the melancholy in her element in her, my lord. She is never sad but when she sleeps, and never sad then. For I have heard my daughter say that she hath often dreamed of unhappiness, and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
No, she mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
No, my lord, were they married but a week, they would talk themselves mad.
Count Claudio, when mean you go to the church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on precious.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence just a seven-night. Far too brief a time to have all things answered to my mind.
Come, and shake your head at so long a breathing, but I warrant thee the time shall not go dully by us. For I, in the interim, will undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you three will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am with you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to get my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know of. So far I can praise him. He is of a noble strain, approved valor, and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, so that she shall fall in love with Benedict. And I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedict that despite his quick-witted, queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me and I'll tell you my dread.
Oh, yes.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonardo.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinal to me. I'm sick with indispleasure to that boy. Whatsoever comes athwart his affections ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Tell me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how I am in favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out her lady's chamber window.
And what life is in that to be in the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies for you to temper. Go to the prince your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation you mildly hold up, to a contaminated stale. Such a one is Hero.
And what proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonardo. Look you for any other issue.
Only to despite them I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal as in love of your brother's honor, who hath made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is thus likely to be cozened with the semblance of a maid. That you discover thus, they will scarcely believe without trial. Offer instances which will bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero, hear Margaret term me Claudio, and this the very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime, I shall so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I shall presently go learn the day of this marriage.
Oh, here come the prince and niece, dear love. I'll have me in the arbor.
Come hither, Leonato. What was it that you told me of today? That your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
Oh, aye, stock on, stock on. The bow sings. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. But most wonderful she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behavior seemed ever to abhor.
Is it possible? Sits the wind in that corner?
I know not what to make of it, my lord, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit?
Faith, like enough.
Oh, no counterfeit. There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, what effects of passion shows she?
What effects, my lord? She will sit you... You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How? How, pray you? You amaze me. I'd have thought that she had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
As would I, especially against Benedict.
I should think this a dull, but that the white-bearded fellow speaks it. Knavery cannot sure hide itself in such reverence.
He hath tamed the infection. Hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed. So your daughter says, shall I, says she, that have so often counted her with him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This she says as she begins to write him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there shall she sit in her smock till she hath writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
When she had writ it and was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheets.
That's...
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself for being so immodest to write to one who she knew would flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for I should flout him were he to writ to me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses, oh sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She doth indeed, my daughter says so, and the ecstasy hath so overborne her that my daughter is sometime afeard she may do herself a desperate outrage.
It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? Who'd make but a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse?
And he should. It's an almstay him, for she's an excellent sweet lady.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything but loving Benedict.
Oh, my lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body. We have 10 proofs to 1 that blood will win out. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause, being both her uncle and her guardian.
I would she bestowed this dotage on me. I would have doubted all other respects and made her half of myself. I pray you tell Benedict of it, and hear what it will say.
Were it good thing.
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not. And she will die ere she make her love known. And she will die if he woo her, rather than bathe one breath of her accustomed crosses.
She doth well. If she should make tender her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. The man, as you know, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He indeed hath a good outward happiness.
'Tis true indeed, and in my mind, very wise.
He doth show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
As Hector, I assure you. And in the managing of quarrels, you may say he is wise, for he either avoids them with great discretion, or he undertakes them with the most Christian-like fear.
If he do fear God, must necessarily keep the peace. If he break the peace, he must do so with fear and trembling.
And so will he do, howsoever it seems not in him by some large jests he should make. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedick and tell him of her love?
Never tell, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, she'll wear her heart out first.
Well, we'll hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedick well, and I could wish that he would modestly examine himself to see how unworthy he is so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and thou must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. The sport will be when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage, and no such matter. That's the scene that I would see, which will be merely a dumb show. Let us go and have her call him into dinner.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero? Not me? Why, it must be requited. I hear how I am censored. They say, I will bear myself proudly. I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she would rather die than show any signs of affection. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that can hear their detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is virtuous. 'Tis so, I cannot reprove it. And fair, 'tis the truth, I can bear them witness. And wise, but for loving me? By my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly. For I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against merit. But doth not the appetite alter? The man loves in his youth the meat he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences, these paper balls of the brain, awe a man from the career of his humor? No! The world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I never thought I would live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day she's a fair lady. I do spy some arts of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Lady Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure then in the message.
Yea, just so much as you may take on a knife's point, and choke it all withal. You have no stomach, senor, very well.
Ah, against my will I'm sent to bid you come into dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those things than you took pains to thank me. That's as much as to say any pains I take for you are as easy as things. If I do not love her, I am a villain. If I do not take pity of her, I am a cat. I shall go get your picture.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the Prince of Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her that I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us, and bid her steal into the pleached bower, where honeysuckles ripened by the sun forbid the sun to enter, like favorites, made proud by princes, that advance their pride against the power that bred it. This is thy office, bear thee well in it.
I will make her come, I warrant you, presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay.
She's coming.
Now begin.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish caught with her golden oars of silver stream, and greedily devour treacherous bait. So angle me now for Beatrice.
Who even knows, couched upon him, woodbine coverture.
Let us go near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we laid for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
Are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new trothed lord.
Did they bid you tell her of it, madame?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them if they love Benedict to wish him wrestle with affection, and to never let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so?
Why, nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn right sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on. And her wit values itself so highly that all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape, nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so, and therefore certainly it were not good. She knew his love, that she takes sport in it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man. How wise, how noble, how young, rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate very vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why, a bluff moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to simpleness and virtue that which truth and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air, laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore it were better that Benedict, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocking, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Well, tell her of it. Hear what she was saying.
No, rather I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly, I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word will a poison let you.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She is so much without true judgment, and so swift and excellent a wit as she has, as to refuse such rare gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy, excepted my dear Claudio.
I pray, madame, be not angry with me. I speak my fancy, Senior Benedict, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor. Goes foremost report through Italy.
He doth have an excellent good name.
His Excellence did earn it, ere he had it.
When do you marry, madame?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in with me, and I'll show thee some attires, that I might have that counsel which should furnish me tomorrow.
She's lying, I warrant you. You've caught her.
If proved so, then loving goes by halves. Some Cupid kills with arrows, and some with traps.
What fires in my ears! Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride, adieu. No glory rides on back such. And Benedict, love on. I will requite thee, taming my wild heart thy loving hand. For if thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it.
Old Signor, walk aside with me. I have studied ere not wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
For my life to break with her, though, Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this done their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not fight one another when they meet.
My lord and brother, peace be with you.
Good den, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private.
If it please you, yet the Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow.
You know he does.
I know not that when he knows what I know.
There be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let it appear hereafter, and a better me by that I will now manifest. For my brother, I feel he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hope to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has long been a talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she. Leonato's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal.
The word is too good to paint her wickedness. Think you of a worse word, and I will fit her to it. Go but with me tonight and see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her, but it better fit your honor to change your mind.
If I see anything tonight, why I should not marry her. In the congregation where I should wed, there will I shame her.
And as I would for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no more till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
O day untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
O plague right well prevented, so you will say when you have seen the sequel.
Marry your neighbors. There be a foul plot afoot. We shall take but a 15-minute break. If any of ye need to use the restroom, I pray ye exit through this curtain. Ladies first the right, gentlemen second. I also beseech you to visit our snack bar, where you shall find the finest selection of sweets and drinks for but a ducat each. When the lights flicker, we will have but 2 minutes remaining. I thank ye. We shall resume our humble show in 15 minutes. Come, neighbor. Are you good, man, and true? Yea, or else it were pity, but he should suffer salvation, body and soul. Nay, that were a punishment too good for him, if he should show any allegiance in them, being chosen. Well, give him his charge, neighbor dog, Berry. You have. I knew it would be your answer. You. You thought here to be the most senseless and fit men for the constables of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You are to comprehend all vagrant men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How does not stand?
Why then, take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and be glad to be rid of a knave. If he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects. True. They are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You are to make no noise in the street, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable, and not to be endured.
We would rather sleep than talk. We know it belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet for a watch, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. You are to call at all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk. Well, get them to bed.
How would they not?
Well, let them alone till they are sober. If they give you not then the better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man, and for such kind of men, the less you make or meddle with them, the more for your honesty.
But if we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands upon him?
Truly, by your
will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is, and let him steal out of your company.
Oh, you have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more any man that hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
But how if the nurse be asleep and shall not hear us?
Why then, depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying. For the ewe that will not hear her lamb when it bays will never hear a calf when it bleats.
'Tis very true.
Well, constables, this is the end of your charge. You are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Oh, nay, then I think I cannot.
Oh, 5 shillings to 1 on it. With any man that knows the statutes, you may stay him to marry. Not without the prince be willing, for the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offense to stay a man against his will.
I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night. If there be any matters of weight chances, call of me. Keep your fellows' counsel and your own. Good night. Come, neighbor.
Oh. Well, masters, I hear my charge. I shall sit here upon the church bench till 2, then all to bed.
One word more, honest neighbor. I pray you keep watch about Signor Leonato's door, for there being a wedding tomorrow, there's going to be a great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant, I beseech you. Come, neighbor.
What, Conrad?
Peace, Sternal.
Conrad, I say.
Here, man, I'm at thy elbow.
Massa, my elbowish. I thought there would a scab follow.
I'll owe you an answer for that. Now forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close then, under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I, like a true drunkard, will utter all to thee.
Some treason. Stand close.
No, I have earned it done. 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that such villainy could be so dear?
Rather thou shouldst ask, were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I know that deformed has been a vile thief. The 7-year goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Dost thou not hear somebody?
Who 'twas the maid on the house?
No, I, up tonight, have wooed Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero, by the name of Hero. She leans me out her mistress' window and bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale by her. I should first tell thee how the prince, Claudio, and my master was landed, replaced, and possessed by my master, Don John, in the orchard and saw this amiable encounter afar off.
And thought they Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, Don John and Claudio, but the devil, my master, knew she were Margaret. Partly, by his oaths, which firstly possessed them. Partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio, enraged, and swore he would meet her as appointed the next morning at the chapel. And there before the entire congregation. Shaver was what he saw her night and send her home again without a husband.
I charge you in the prince's name, stand! Call up the right mistress constable. I have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that ever was known to the Commonwealth. And one deformed as one, I know him, oh, where's a lock.
Master! Master! I dare warn you, I warn you!
Master!
Never speak, I pray you. Let me obey you to come with us.
We're likely to prove a goodly commodity being taken up of these men's bills.
The commodity in question, I warrant you.
Come, we'll obey you.
What would you with me on this, neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for it is a busy time with me, you see.
Marry, this it is, sir.
Yes, in truth, it is, sir.
What is it, good friends?
Good man Verges, sir, speaks a little off the matter. An old man, sir, his wits are not so blunt as I would desire they were, but in faith honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I am as honest as any man living. That is an old man, and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous. Palabras, neighbor Verges.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
Oh, it pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. But truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart. My heart, to bestow it on all of your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, eh?
Yea, and 1,000 pound more than 'tis, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man on the city, and though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, have taken a couple of as errant knaves as any in Messina.
Oh, he will be talking, as they say, sir, when the age is in, the wit is out, it is a world to see. Oh! Well said in faith, neighbor Verges, and two men ride of a horse, one must ride behind. An honest soul in faith, sir, by my troth is he, as ever broke bread. All men are not alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you. I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, have indeed comprehended two auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be suffragance.
Drink some wine ere you go. Fare you well.
My lord, they say for you to give your daughter to your husband.
I will wait upon them. I am ready.
Well, go, good partner, go. Get you to Francis Seacole, and bid him bring his pen and inkhorn, and meet me at the jail. We are now to examination these men, and we must do it wisely. We will spare for no wit. Here's that shall drive some of them to a non-com. Only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication and meet me at the jail.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterward.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady?
No.
To be married to her, friar. You come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count?
I do.
If either of you have any inward impediment as to why you should not be conjoined, charge on your souls to utter it.
Know you any hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any count?
I dare make his answer. None.
What men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
How then, interjections? Why then someday laughing as ha he.
Stand thee by, friar. Father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God gave her me.
And what have I to give thee back? Whose worth may counterpoise such a rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonardo, take her back. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She is but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. What authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that flood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were made by these exterior shows? But she is none. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul with an approved wanton.
Good my lord, if you have in your own proof overcome the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity.
I know what you would say. For if I have known her, you would say she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonardo, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to a sister, showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on me! See me! I shall ride against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as the bud, ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand here dishonored, that I would think my dear friend will come stale.
Are these words spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True!
Let me move but one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power you have in her, bid her answer truly.
As thou art my child, I bid thee do so.
Please defend me. How am I beset? What chastising call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot out that name with any just reproach?
Mary, that can't, Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesterday out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I spoke with no man at that hour, my lord.
Then you are no maiden. Leonato, I am sorry you must hear this, but myself, my brother, and this grieved count did hear her at that hour last night, talk with the common ruffian who most like a liberal villain confessed the vile encounters they had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, fie, my lord. These things are not to be named, not to be spoken of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
O hero, what hero hadst thou been if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy mind? But fare thee well, most foul, most fair, farewell. Thou pure in piety and pious purity, for thee I'll lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang, to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it more be gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
How now, cousin, wherefore sink you down?
Let us go. These things thus come to light, smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help, uncle! Friar Senior Benedict, help!
not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shames that may be wished for.
How now, cousin hero?
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why doth every earthly thing not cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero. Do not ope thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, thought I thy spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would on the rearward of reproach
No, brother, I pray thee.
Grieved I had but one. Chide I for that frugal nature's frame? Oh, one, too much by thee. Why had I won? Why ever wast thou lovely in my eyes? Why had I not, with charitable hand, took up a beggar's issue at my gate, who smirched thus and mired in infamy? I might have said, no part of this is mine. These shames derive from unknown loins. But mine, and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine I was proud on, and mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine, valuing her. Why, she hath fallen in a pit of ink, so the wide sea hath drops too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little, which may season give her foul tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. For my own part, I am so attired in wonder I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is blind.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not, but until last night I have this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Confirmed! Oh, that a stronger maid which was before bound up with ribs of iron. Oh, the two princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so that the speaking of her foulness washed it with tears. Hence, from her let her die.
Hear me a little, for I've only been silent so long, given to this course of fortune. By noting of the lady, I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions, to start into her face 1,000 innocent shames in angel whiteness to beat away those blushes. And in her eye hath appeared a fire to burn away the air that those princes have placed upon her maiden truth. Call me a fool, trust not my reading nor my observations which warrant the tenor of my book. Trust not my age, my calling, my reverence or divinity, if this sweet lady doth not lie guiltless under some biting error.
Friar, it cannot be. You see that the only grace she hath left is that she will not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why do you seek to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he that you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me, for I know none. If I know more of any man than that which maiden modesty warranted, let all my sins lack mercy. Oh, my father, prove you that I maintain words with any creature in hours unmeet. Hate me, torture me, despise me.
There is some strange misprision in the princes.
2 of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lies in John the Bastard, whose spirits toil in the frame of villainies.
I know not. If they but speak truth of her, these hands will tear her. But if they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. Time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, nor age eat up my invention, nor fortune made such havoc of my means, nor bad life reft me of friends, but they shall find, awaked in such a kind, a strength of limb and policy of mind, ability and means and choice of friends to quit me of them thoroughly.
Pause a while and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the prince is left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed, and maintain a mourning ostentation, and hang mournful epitaphs on your family's old monument, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What purpose will this serve? What will this do?
Mary, this well carried on her behalf shall change slander into remorse, and that's some good, but not on this dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying, as so it must be maintained, upon the instant that she is accused, shall be lamented and pitied and envied of every hearer. And so it falls out that what we have, we prize not to the worth. Whilst we still enjoy it, being racked and lost, why, then we rack the value, and then we find the virtue that possession doth not show us while it is still ours. And so shall it fare with Claudio. When he shall hear that she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination. Every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled more in precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life into the eye and prospect of his soul than when she ever lived indeed. And so shall he mourn, if love ever had interest in his liver, and wished he had not accused her, though no, he thought that his accusation true. So let it be so, and doubt not that this success will fashion this event in better shape than I can lay it down in likelihood. But if all but this be labeled false, the supposition of the lady's death shall quench the wonder of her infamy. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her as best befits her wounded reputation. Out of all eyes and tongues and minds and injuries in some religious and reclusive life.
Signor Leonato, let the friar advise you in this, and though you know my inwardness and love is very much under the prince and Claudio, I shall deal in this as secretly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine will lead me.
'Tis well consented, presently away. For to strange sores strangely they strain for the cure. Come, lady, die to live. Perhaps this wedding day will be yet prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Surely I do believe that your fair cousin is wronged.
Oh, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any such friend?
No, no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
Surely I do love nothing in the world so well as thee. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I cannot say. It were possible for me to say that I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not. Yet I lie not. I confess nothing. Nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that I love you, and I will make him eat it that says not you love me.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised for it. I do protest I love thee.
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do so with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that I was left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of villain that has slandered, scorned, and dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man, would bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation uncovered slander and mitigated wreck. Oh, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace. Sweet hero,
am engaged. I will kiss your hand, and so leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead.
Is a whole dissembly appeared? Oh, and a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors? Married, that am I, and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders who are to be examined? Bring them before Mistress Constable.
Yea, Mary, let them come before me.
What is your name, friend?
Horatio.
Pray, write down Horatio.
Yours, Sirrah.
I'm a gentleman, and my name is Conrad.
Well, write down Master Gentleman Conrad, huh?
Masters,
Do you serve God?
Yes, sir, we hope.
Aha! Write down that they hope they serve God, and write God first. For God defend, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it's proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. I'll answer you for yourselves.
Marry, sir, I say we are none.
Oh, a marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come you hither, Sirrah? A word in your ear? Sir, I say to you, stop your false knaves.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside, they are both in a tale. Have you read that they are none?
Mistress Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must bring forth the watch. Who are their accusers?
Yea, Mary, that is the way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you in the prince's name, accuse these men. This man said that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain. Write down, Prince John, a villain. Why, this is flat perjury. To call the prince's brother a villain?
Master
Pray you, fellow, peace! I do not like thy look. I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
And that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed. Yea, by that it is.
What else, fellow?
And the Count Claudio did me upon his words to disgrace hero upon the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villains, thou shalt be condemned in everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is all that can be denied. For this morning, Prince John was secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, and in this very manner refused. And upon the grief of this, suddenly died. Mistress Constable, bind these men up, bring them to Leonatos. I will go before and show them their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned. Let them be in the hand.
Of Cusco!
Where's the sexton? Let him write down that your prince's officer, Coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Go on thus, you will kill yourself. And 'tis not wisdom thus to second grieve against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls into mine ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give not me counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ear, but one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Measure his woes, the length and breadth of mine. Give not me counsel. My griefs cry stronger than advertisement.
Therein do men from children nothing different.
Pray thee, peace. I will be flesh and blood, but there's never been philosopher who could endure the toothache patiently, but they've written in style gods and made push at chance and sufferance.
Yet bear not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There you speak reason. My spirit doth tell me that Hero is belied, and this shall Claudio know, and so shall the prince and all those that doth thus dishonor her.
Comes the prince and Claudio hastily.
Good den, good den.
Hear you, my lords.
We have some haste, Leonato.
Some haste, my lords. Well, fare you well. Are you so hasty now? All is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself by quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Mary, thou dissembler, thou. Nay, never lie thy hand on thy sword. I fear thee not.
Mary, beshrew my hand that it should give your age such cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Tush, tush, never leer and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard nor a fool, being under privilege of age to brag on what I had done when I was young, or would do were I not old. No, Claudio, to thy head, thou hast so wronged my innocent child and me that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with gray hair and bruise of many days, to challenge thee to the trial of a man. I say thou hast belied my innocent child, and she lies buried in a tomb with her ancestors, where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare, despite his nice fence and active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Away! I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? Thou hast killed my innocent child. If thou killest me, thou killest a man.
He shall kill two of us. But that men indeed. But that's no matter. Let him kill one first. Win me. Where me? Let him answer me. Come follow me, boy. Come, sir boy. Come follow me. Sir boy, I will whip you from your fawning fence. Nay, as I am a gentleman, I will.
Brother Andrew.
Content yourself. I loved my niece and she is dead. Slandered to death by villains, and there is romancer man indeed, as I undertake a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milkstops.
Brother Andrew.
Hold you content. What man I know them, yea, in what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple, scrambling, outfacing, fashion-mongering boys, who lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander. Go antically, show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they darest, and this is all.
But Brother Andrew.
Come, 'tis no matter. Do not you meddle. Let me deal in this.
Gentlemen both, we will not wait your patience. I am sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor she was charged with nothing. That was not true and very full of proof.
My lord.
I will not hear you.
No? Come. Away, brother. I will be heard.
That shall. Or some of us will smart for it.
See, here comes the man we came to seek.
How now, senor? What news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You have come to part almost of fray.
We had like to have our two noses snapped off by two old men without teeth.
Leonato and his brother. What thinkest thou? Hast we thought I doubt we had been too young for them?
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
Well, we have been up and down to seek thee. For we are high-proof melancholy, would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wits?
'Tis in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wits. I will bid thee draw, as we do the minstrels draw to pleasure us.
As I'm an honest man who looks pale, art thou sick or angry?
What courage, man! What though care kill the cat? Thou hast metal enough in thee to kill care.
Sir, I will meet your wit in the career, and you charge it against me. I pray you choose another subject.
Nay, then give him another staff, for this last one was broke cross.
By this light, he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girl.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
A challenge?
You, foul villain. I jest not. I will make good with what you dare, and how you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet thee so I may have good cheer. In faith, he hath bid me to cast head and cap on, of the which if I do not carve most curiously, say my nice note. Shall I not find a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit. I said, he has a fine wit. True, she said, a fine little one. And thus did she an hour together, shred-shape thy particular virtues, and yet she concluded to decide that thou wast the properest man in Italy.
Of the which she wept heartily, and said she cared not.
Yea, that she did. But yet she said that if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. The old man Tonner told us all.
All, and moreover when he was hid in the garden.
But when shall we set the savage bull's horns in the sensible Benedict's head?
Yea, and text underneath, here lies Benedict, the married man.
Very well, boy. You know my mind. I leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggers do their blades, which hurt not. Farewell, my lord. I must discontinue your company. Your brother, the bastard, is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet. Till then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
Most profound earnest. And I warrant you for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty little thing man is, when he goes off in his hose and doublet and leaves off his wit.
Well then, he is an ape to a man. Was a doctor to such a man.
But soft like you be, pluck up your heart. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Come you, sir! If justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more raisins than her balance. Nay, and you being a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now? Two of my brother's men bound. Horatio one.
Hearken after their offense, man.
What have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruth. Secondarily, they are slanders. Sixth and lastly, they have belied the lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And, to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask what they have done. Thirdly, I ask what their charge. Sixthly, and lastly, what their offense, and to conclude, why they are committed.
All rightly reason in their own division, and by right thought, there is one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no further to mine answer. Do you hear me? Let this count kill me, for I have deceived even your very eyes, which your great wisdoms could not discover. These shallow fools have brought to light. Who in the night hath overheard me confessing to this man? How Don John hath incensed me to slander the lady hero. How you were brought to the orchard and saw me court Margaret in hero's garments. How you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death and repeat over again to my shame. The lady is dead. Upon mine and my master's false accusations, and briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Was not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my brother set these this?
And paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Oh, hero, thy image doth appear in the semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath reformed, master, senior the Leonato of the matter. But masters, Do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am a coxcomb.
Oh, here comes the master senior, Leonato, and the sexton too.
Where is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I meet another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
You would know, your honor. Look on me.
Are you the slave that with thy breath has killed my innocent child?
Yea, and I alone.
Nay, villain, thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death, recorded among your high and honorable deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you think you on it.
Know not how to pray your patience, but I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose on me what penance your imagination can lay upon my sin. But sinned I not, but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I, and yet, to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he will enjoin me to.
I cannot bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Messina here, how innocently she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, hang an epitaph upon her tomb. Sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost a copy of my child that's dead. Give her the right you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
Oh, noble sir, thy overkindness doth bring tears from me. I do embrace your offer, and dispose henceforth of poor Claudio.
I expect your coming tomorrow morning. Tonight, I take my leave. This naughty man shall be brought before Margaret, who was packed in all this wrong, I believe hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul, she knew not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me. That hath been just and virtuous in anything I do know by her.
And also, our watch heard them talk of one form. They say he wears a key in his ear and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money, the which he hath used so long and never paid, that now men grow hard-hearted and will lend nothing. Pray you, examine him upon that point.
I thank thee for thy honest care and pains.
Well, your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth.
There's for thy pains. Ah! I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. I wish your worship well. I humbly give you leave to depart. Come, neighbor.
My lords, I expect your coming tomorrow.
Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring these fellows on. We'll talk to Margaret how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Is this the tomb of Leonato?
It is, my lord.
Done to death with slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death, in guerdon of her wrongs, give her fame which never died. So the life that died with shame, lives in death with woe his babe. Hang not there upon the tomb, praising her when I am done. Pardon, goddess of the night, those that slew thy virgin night. Of the which with songs of woe, round about the tomb they go. Midnight, assist our moan, help us to sigh and groan, heavily, heavily. Graves yawn and yield their dead, till it be uttered, heavily, heavily. Now unto thy bones good night. Dearly, I will do this right.
Masters, put your torches out. Wolves have preyed, and look, the gentle day. Round about the wheels of Phoebus trapples the drowsy east with spots of gray. Thanks to you all, and fare you well.
Good morrow, masters, each their separate ways.
Come, let us put on other weeds, and then to Leonatus we'll go.
And Hymen luckier issue speed, and this whom we issued out this flow.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
And so were the prince and Claudio, upon the error you heard debated. But Margaret had some fault in all this, although against her will, as it will appear in all the question.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
And so am I, else by faith and force call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and all you gentlewomen, withdraw you into a chamber by yourselves, and when I call for you, come hither masked. Brother, you know your office. You must give your brother's daughter to young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
The prince and Claudio promised to be here by this hour.
Friar, I must needs entreat your pains, I think.
Do what, senor?
To bind me or undo me, one of them. Truth it be, good senor, that your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
Which my daughter lent her, if I'm not mistaken.
And I do with an eye of love, requite her.
The vision of which you had for myself, the prince and Claudio. But what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is your will. May stand together to join us in the state of honorable marriage, for which I shall need your help, good friar.
My will is with your happiness.
And my help. Here come the prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, prince. Good morrow, Claudio. Are you yet determined to marry my brother's daughter?
I'll hold my mind.
Call her forth, brother. Here's the friar ready.
What's the matter, Benedict? That you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storm, and cloudiness.
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not, man. We'll tip thy horns with gold, and all Europa shall rejoice at thee, as once Europa did at lusty Jove, when he would play the noble beast in love. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
The same is she, and I do give you her.
Why then, she is mine. Sweet, let me see thy face.
No, this you shall not do until you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you liketh it.
When I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero!
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live, and as surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whilst her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify when after this, when all these holy rites are ended, I shall tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair, friar. Which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no, no more than reason.
Well then, Prince Claudio and Leonato are deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Truth? No. No more than reason.
Then my cousin, Margaret and Ursula, are very much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They said you were almost dead for me.
And they swore you were very sick for me.
Then you do not love me?
Why, no, no more than friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I know thou lovest the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon that he loves her. For here's a letter written in his own hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, written in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection for Benedict.
A miracle, our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee out of pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in the consumption.
Peace, I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, Prince, a college of wit-crackers could not flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for satire and epigram? No, if a man will be beaten with brains, I shall have nothing handsome about him. In brief, since I do propose to marry, I shall think no purpose to any that can say against it. For man is a giddy thing, and that is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised and love my cousin.
I'd well hope thou wouldst have denied Beatrice, so I may have cudgeled thee out thy single life, to make thee a double dealer, which out of question thou wilt be, if my cousin do not look exceedingly narrowly to thee.
Come, let us have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our hearts and our wives' seals.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First of my word, therefore play music. Prince, you look sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife. Is there no staff more reverend than one tipped with horn?
My lord, your brother John has taken his flight and brought with him armed men back to Messina.
Come, think not on him. I'll devise thee brave punishments for him. Strut up, pipers.